Good morning, my name's Mrs. Golding and I will be teaching the A2 level Design and Technology Product Design course with my colleague Mrs. Nichols. Hopefully you've joined us for our lesson today because you are thinking about taking A-level Product Design from September. A-level Product Design is an ideal subject if you are interested in a creative or practical career. If you enjoy designing and making things, if you have an interest in current design and fashions and trends, and you're interested in today's technology. It's a great subject if you are inquisitive and you really want to know how things work. In order to take this A-level, you will need to achieve at least a grade 6 at GCSE Design and Technology. At Holmer Green Upper School, we only teach an A2 course in product design. If you are thinking about taking product design, but thinking about dropping it at the end of year 12, then I'm afraid it's not the one for you. As part of their studies in A-level product design, students will study historical, social, cultural, and environmental and economic influences on design and technology and put their learning into practice by designing and making products. Students will develop an understanding of what it's like to be a designer and a maker. Students should develop skills useful for employment and higher education. This course demands a lot of practical skill. It also demands a lot of creativity and design flair. It isn't all about that though, and that it is an academic subject. So students do need to be prepared to do a lot of exam responses, written responses, and a lot of written work and folder work. Due to these competencies we cover, A-level product design is ideal for careers in fields such as graphic design, model making, packaging design, architecture, set design, interior design, product design, 3D design, computer-aided design, industrial design and engineering in all fields, and project management. Product design is ideal for any creative career. And now we come to the structure of the course. The Product Design A-level course is split into 3 elements. 2 of those elements are examination papers. They're written papers, one worth 30% and one 20%. The final element is an NEA, that's a non-examined assessment or piece of coursework. This counts for the final 50%. Paper 1 is the technical principles paper. It's a mixture of short and extended response questions. No more than 12 marks will be awarded per question. There are a few factual recall questions for lower marks, but most questions will require you to explain the suitability of a material or a process or a technology used in different products. Paper 2 is slightly shorter at 1 hour 30 minutes and is worth 20% of the A-levels. Its focus is designing and making principles and will include questions on the design process and communication, design movements and inspirations, inclusive design, ergonomics and anthropometrics, and the more design side of the course. Today's task is to understand a typical type of question that you might find in an A-level product design exam paper. This question focuses on juicers. The first example is a designer juicer designed by the world-renowned designer Philippe Starck. Perhaps not the most practical of products, you can probably see why, but it's quirky. Some would say beautiful design, has provoked many people to pay its price upwards of £30, sometimes just for its looks and its exclusivity. The second, more budget-friendly but practical juicer could probably be bought from somewhere like IKEA for less than £3 and is highly mass-produced. We are asked to focus on why the materials they are made from are suitable for that particular item. In order to do that, we need to think about what that product needs from the materials it is made from. Your first task today is to spend 5 minutes listing what the material each juicer is made from needs to be like or able to do in order for the juicer to function the way it needs to. For example, the material needs to be easy to clean. Your 5 minutes starts now. So hopefully your list includes some of the points you can see on this slide. You've recognised things like it shouldn't rust. You've recognised things like they need to be chemically resistant. You've recognised things like a juicer needs to be under pressure in order to work, and therefore the material needs to be rigid. Although my photograph is black and white, you might have even recognised the fact that the second figure was in a bright colour, and a lot of the time would be produced in a range of colours. You might have recognised that the second product was probably mass produced and looks like it might have been injection moulded. It's things like this that you need to understand, you need to be aware of, and you need to be able to apply in an exam scenario. So now your second and final task of the day is to do a bit of internet research. I want you to find out as much as you can about aluminium and polypropylene. I want you to find out facts that would enable the materials to successfully do the things you listed and then link them together. So for example, the aluminium juicer will not degrade by rusting because it is a non-ferrous metal which does not rust. See how you get on. And so finally, we state what we have found out about the working characteristics of the material and use it to justify why it is suitable for the function of the product. For example, we found out that polypropylene is extremely chemical resistant, so it won't get affected by cleaning chemicals. The final element of the A-level is the NEA, or non-examination assessment, which constitutes 50% of the whole A-level. The project is similar to the GCSE, but of course, being A-level needs to represent a far greater challenge. The context for the project is decided by the student themselves. The folder would need to be of approximately 45 pages, with the final product enabling you to show off your practical skills. The following slides will give you an idea of what your folder might look like. So your summer transition work is a set of tasks that we would like you to work on from now all the way through the summer holidays to prepare you for starting your courses in September. For product design, we have set 3 tasks for you to do. 2 of them are very closely linked and are explained on this slide, and the 3rd one is on the next slide. So this first and second task that we'd like you to do is to improve your sketching and your drawing techniques, but also for you to have an interest in what is going on in the world around you and taking a note of products and problems that you see. So what we want you to do is get a sketchbook and start to fill it with sketches, notes, photographs, images from catalogues, from magazines, from the internet, of things that you've seen that you're interested in, and hopefully we'll see an improvement in your drawing skills. So there should be lots of drawings in there. So the sorts of things that you can be drawing are in, there's a lot of list of things here that you can do, but sort of interesting everyday items that you see. If you notice any potential problems as you're out and about, there are loads at the moment because people have adapted very quickly to a very different world, and they've come up with solutions for problems that aren't necessarily the best solutions. So there's lots of things that have changed recently that maybe haven't been done very well, and you might notice some of those and take a note of them. You could then come up with some interesting solutions or design ideas to some of those problems that you have seen, or
you might see an idea, a design that already exists and think that is a really interesting way of solving that problem. So it might be a drawing of your own, or it might be somebody else's product and you've taken a photograph of it, or you've found a picture on the internet and you add that to your sketchbook. You can go, as I said, take photographs, find images in magazines, find images on the internet, things that add context to your sketches. So it might be things that have inspired your ideas, it might be things that demonstrate the problem that you're trying to solve, anything that's around those designs and the drawings that you've done. I'd like to try some different drawing techniques and also some different media. So as it says here, pencils, pens, marker pens, whatever you've got at home, have an experiment and a try with them. And in terms of improving your drawing skills, I added to the document you were sent out with the transition work lots of YouTube links for drawing skills tutorials, so have a work through of those to help you with your drawing skills. So lots of doodles, lots of quick sketches to get your ideas down, but equally some 2D and some 3D sketches using perspective, isometric, orthographic, exploded drawings, all the things that you learned during year 11. Have a practice of annotating your sketches, explaining your ideas, maybe things that you still need to think about, what material it might be made of or how it might be manufactured. Have a go at adding some colour to some of your ideas. Could you try to show the material or the texture that might be used by applying colour? And again, look on YouTube, look for tutorials to help you with this and practice maybe showing a material type and various textures by using those tutorials. And the second task, which I've included in here, is to use your phone to record things. So you generally always got your phone in your pocket. Get into the habit of taking photos of things that you see that either are problems that you've identified, excellent designs that you've seen, terrible designs that you've seen, things that have inspired you, things that interest you, and if you can, print those off and add those to your sketchbook, but if not, just keep them in your phone so you've got a record of all those things. So that is the first two tasks of the transition work. So the third task is to improve and develop your 3D CAD drawing, which is going to be massively useful for you doing the product design course next year. So I want you to use a particular piece of software called Onshape, and I want you to use it because it is a cloud-based piece of software, which means you can access it from the internet. You don't need to download anything, and all your work, all your drawings that you create are also stored on the cloud and on the internet, so you can access it from anywhere as long as you've got an internet connection. So I want you first of all to set yourself up with an Onshape account, and I've sent out some very specific instructions about how to do that and how to find it. And you need to set up an education account, and you need to make sure that you use the details that I gave you in the document. So it's the school's, your school email address, and also the school's address and the school's phone number to set up that account. And as I say, it's free as long as you get an education account. I then have sent you some links to YouTube with some very basic tutorials about how Onshape works and how to do some very simple drawings in it. So work your way through those. Once you've got the hang of the basics, I want you to move on to the more advanced tutorials, which will show you how to do some more interesting shapes. Once you've worked your way through those, and if you're confident, I'd like you to have a go at creating some of your own designs, linking back to the last two tasks where you've maybe found problems to solve, maybe you've come up with designs, or there's designs that you've seen. Use those to start doing some drawings and some designs in Onshape, and then obviously you can print those off and add them back into your sketchbook. So these three tasks all link together. If you're not feeling confident, maybe go and find some more tutorials on YouTube and keep working at it to improve your drawings on that piece of software. With any of this transition work, if you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to email me and ask me if I can help. Okay.